All right, Cowboys Nation, let's break this down. The Dallas Cowboys just made a move that caught a lot of people off guard. A trade for quarterback Joe Milton. Now, if you missed the details, here's the rundown. The Cowboys sent a 5th-round compensatory pick and a 7th-round pick to the New England Patriots in exchange for Milton, moving down 46 spots in the process. When you look at the trade value chart, this equates to giving up an early 6th-rounder for a potential backup quarterback. Not exactly a high price, but does this move really make sense for Dallas? We know Dak Prescott is the unquestioned starter, for now. But with his contract situation still uncertain and the front office being non-committal about an extension, could this be the first step in planning for the future? Milton is a physically gifted QB with a massive arm, but let's be honest. He wasn't exactly lighting up college football with his consistency. His athleticism is intriguing, and with proper development, maybe he could become a solid option down the road. The real question is, was this move just about adding depth, or does it signal something bigger? The Cowboys already have Trey Lance sitting behind Prescott, a player they spent a 4th-round pick on last year. Adding Milton into the mix makes it clear that Dallas is at least exploring their options at the position. Could this be a sign that Prescott's time in Dallas is nearing an end? Or is the front office just stockpiling talent, knowing that quarterback is the most valuable position in football? I want to hear from you on this one. Do you think Joe Milton could be the future QB of the Cowboys? Vote in the comments 1 for yes, 0 for no. And speaking of future moves, is this trade just the beginning? There's another name floating around in trade rumors that could have a major impact on the Cowboys' defense. Let's talk about that next. Now, let's talk about a trade rumor that's been heating up. Jaire Alexander to the Cowboys. The Green Bay Packers star cornerback has reportedly been on the market, and Dallas is one of the teams linked to him. On paper, this sounds like a dream move. Alexander, when healthy, is one of the best shutdown corners in the league. Pairing him with Darren Bland and Trevon Diggs, that would give the Cowboys a scary secondary, one that could go toe-to-toe with any offense in the NFL. But before we get too excited, let's talk about the downsides. First, there's the cost. The Packers aren't just going to give him away. It would likely take at least a 2nd-round pick or a package of picks to land him. Then there's his contract. Alexander is one of the highest-paid corners in the league, and the Cowboys aren't exactly sitting on piles of cap space. And the biggest concern? Injuries. Over the last 3 seasons, Alexander has missed a total of 19 games. That's almost a full season of football. If Dallas makes this move, they're betting that he can stay healthy and return to his all-pro form. Is that a risk worth taking? Now let's think about the bigger picture. If the Cowboys trade for Alexander, does that mean they're all in on this season? Or would it be a long-term investment, knowing that a healthy Alexander could anchor the secondary for years to come? That's where you come in. If you were the Cowboys GM, would you make this trade? Drop a yes or no in the comments and let's see where the fan base stands. And while trades are exciting, there's another way the Cowboys can add talent: the NFL draft. The latest mock draft from ESPN just dropped, and it has some picks that could completely change the direction of this team. Let's break it down next. The NFL draft is just around the corner, and ESPN just dropped a mock draft that has Cowboys fans talking. Could this be the perfect scenario for Dallas? Let's break it down. According to ESPN's latest projection, the Cowboys use their 1st-round pick on wide receiver Tyrone McMillan. If you're not familiar with him, McMillan is a big-bodied receiver with elite ball skills and an impressive catch radius. He's the type of player who can make tough, contested catches, something the Cowboys' offense desperately needs. Pairing him with CeeDee Lamb could give Dallas a true 1-2 punch in the passing game, but is wide receiver the team's biggest need? Then, in the 2nd round, ESPN has the Cowboys selecting running back Tre'Veyon Henderson. This pick is interesting because it signals a potential shift in the Digger Cowboys' backfield. Henderson is an explosive playmaker, a home run threat every time he touches the ball. Some analysts even compare him to a younger, faster version of Tony Pollard. With the Cowboys needing to revamp their rushing attack, could Henderson be the missing piece? But here's where things get tricky. The Cowboys have serious needs on the offensive and defensive lines. With key departures on both sides of the ball, should Dallas really be spending premium picks on a receiver and, running back instead of reinforcing the trenches? That's the big debate. Now it's time for you to weigh in. If you could only pick one of these players for the Cowboys, who would it be? Drop a WR in the comments if you want McMillan or RB if you'd prefer Henderson. Let's see what Cowboys Nation thinks. And speaking of the draft, it's not just about who gets picked. It's also about who gets invited for private meetings. The Cowboys' 30 visits list is starting to take shape, and it gives us some big clues about what the front office is planning. One of the best ways to predict what the Cowboys might do in the draft is by looking at their official 30 visits. If you're not familiar with this, NFL teams are allowed to bring in up to 30 prospects for private meetings and evaluations before the draft. These visits give us valuable insight into which players the Cowboys are seriously considering. So far, 2 names stand out on the Cowboys list: Jonah Savia and Alfred Collins. Savia is a versatile offensive lineman who could provide much-needed depth, especially with the uncertainty surrounding the Cowboys' O-line. Dallas has struggled with injuries and inconsistency in the trenches, and Savia has the skill set to step in and compete right away. He's strong, technically sound, and fits the Cowboys' blocking scheme well. On the defensive side, Alfred Collins is an intriguing prospect. The Cowboys' defensive front could use more power and depth, and Collins brings both. He's a big, athletic defensive lineman with the potential to disrupt the backfield. If Dallas wants to improve its pass rush and run defense, bringing in a player like Collins could be a smart move. These visits don't guarantee that the Cowboys will draft these players, but history shows that Dallas often selects at least 1 or 2 prospects from their 30 visits list. It's a strategy that has worked in the past, and it gives us a glimpse into what the front office is prioritizing this year. Now let's get your take. If you could choose the Cowboys' top priority in the draft, which position would you go with? Drop your answer in the comments: OL for offensive line, DL for defensive line, or DB for defensive back. Let's see where Cowboys Nation stands. And speaking of priorities, the Cowboys' draft plans are just one piece of the puzzle. The team has a busy schedule ahead, with important dates that could shape the roster. With the draft just around the corner, the Cowboys have a busy schedule ahead. The next few months will be crucial in shaping the roster, with a series of key events that will determine who makes the team and who doesn't. First up, we have mini-camps and OTAs, organized team activities. These are the first real opportunities for rookies and new signings to work alongside veterans, learn the system, and prove they deserve a roster spot. The coaching staff will be watching closely, evaluating how players perform in drills and early team sessions. Then we move into mandatory training camp. This is where the real competition begins. Position battles heat up, depth charts start to take shape, and we get our first real glimpse of what the Cowboys' 2024 roster might look like. It's also the time when potential surprise cuts or trades can happen, as the team trims down to its final 53-man roster. But let's not forget about the biggest question on every Cowboys fan's mind. Are we done making moves? With rumors still swirling and holes to fill, there's a chance the front office isn't finished yet. Could Dallas still make a big signing or trade before the season kicks off? That's where I want to hear from you. Do you think the Cowboys will make another major move before the season starts? Drop your prediction in the comments. No matter what happens, one thing is certain. The next few months will be packed with action, and we'll be covering every development right here. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and like this video so you never miss a Cowboys update. The season is getting closer, and Cowboys Nation is ready. Let's see how this all plays out.